Good morning, dear students. Poem number 10, Nine Gold Medals, is written by David Roth. In this poem, David Roth speaks about Special Olympics, which was held for the differently abled athletes. It's a beautiful poem where the poet tries to make us understand that it's not only that we should win a particular event, rather we should keep up the spirit of sportsmanship. In this whole poem, we see that there were 9 participants for 100-meter race. As in the modern time, all of us are competing to win. Nobody wants to lose. And in this Special Olympics, one of the participants is weak. He is the junior most, he is the youngest one. He falls. He cries. He is in agony. His all the hopes, his all the desires are dashed. When the other 8 participants see the situation of this young athlete, they forget that they had come to win that particular event or race. Rather, they come one by one to lift up their fallen companion. So through this poem, David Roth is trying to convey the message: more than winning a game or race or an event, it is important to have the moral values. Students, values are very important. Secondly, it is also shown that empathy is very important. Just not to have a sympathy. Suppose someone falls and we simply say, oh, it's so sorry, it's so sad that person is fallen. Empathy is more than sympathy. Empathy means feeling the pain of a particular person, or putting oneself in the situation of that particular person. That is called empathy. And that empathy was shown by the 8 athletes to the youngest athlete who had fallen. They put themselves in that particular situation. They forgot that they had come to win. Rather, they tried their best to help their fallen companion. And therefore, that particular Olympics becomes a Special Olympics. For more, let me explain to you the whole poem stanza by stanza. In the first stanza, the athletes had come from so many countries to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze. Many weeks and months in training all build up the games. So, from different countries, or from so many countries, the athletes had come to participate in that special Olympics. And all of them had prepared themselves for weeks together, for months together, because they were knowing that competition is going to be very tough, and all of them, they wanted to win either gold or silver or bronze medal. So no one had prepared himself to lose, rather everyone wanted to win. And in the second stanza we see, all round the field spectators were gathered, cheering on all the young men and women. The then final event of the day was approaching, the last race about to begin. So whole stadium was full of spectators. In simple language, that whole stadium was filled with the audience. There were so many young men, women, all of them were enthusiastic. All of them were excited. All of them were cheering these athletes. And that particular day, that was the final event of the day. And that final event was the last race. That last race was of 100 meters. That was about to begin. And you understand, when there is last event, surely the excitement is too much. And in the third stanza we see, the loudspeakers called out the names of the runners. The 100 meter, the race to be run, and 9 young athletes stood there determined and poised for the sound of the gun. So the names of the runners were announced on the loudspeaker. These 9 young athletes were supposed to run 100 meters race. They came on the field. They were fully determined, full of confidence to run the race, and they were just waiting for the sound of the gun so that they could begin the race. And in the fourth stanza we see, the signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners on hearing the sound. But the youngest among them stumbled and staggered, and he fell on his knees to the ground. Not only the athletes, even the spectators were eager to hear the sound of the pistol. And the signal is given, pistol is exploded, and all of them start running when they hear the sound of the pistol. But among all these 9 athletes, one of them was the youngest. He stumbled, he staggered, and he fell down. You can understand the person who has prepared himself for so many weeks, for so many months to win, and that fellow falls on the ground. What could have been his agony? What could have been his condition? In which situation he was going through? In the fifth stanza it is given, he gave out a cry of frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling the story, now it is a strange one But here is what occurred. When the youngest athlete fell down on the ground, he cried, for he was frustrated. He was in full of anguish, pain. He felt that all his dreams were scattered. All his efforts that he had made to win the race had gone to the dirt. They were completely ruined. In that situation, the poet tells, as I am telling you the story, that something very strange happened, that which had nobody expected, because today's world is one of competition. Everybody wants to win. We don't want anybody to come up in their life. We try our best to make that person to struggle to come up in their life. But this, something very strange happened in this Special Olympics. In the sixth standard it is explained, the 8 other athletes stopped in their tracks. The ones who had trained for so long to compete, one by one they turned round and came back to help him and lifted the lad to his feet. See, this is what strange thing has happened. When the other 8 athletes or the participants or the competitors heard the cry of that young lad, they stopped on their tracks. They did not run. They did not go further. They are full of empathy. They showed the spirit of a true sportsman. They had trained themselves for so many months together, so years together, to compete with each other. But here, one by one they turned around and came back to help that particular young lad who had fallen on the ground. They lifted him up and made him to stand on his feet. And in the 7th stanza it is mentioned, then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued. The 100-meter reduced to walk, and the banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been nearer the mark. Once they stopped, they came back, they lifted the young lad, they joined, all the 9 runners joined their hands together with each other and continued to walk. 100 meters race just became a few seconds walk. And as they were walking towards the finish line, a banner was going on their heads, and on that banner it was mentioned Special Olympics. And the poet says that really it was a Special Olympics, could not have been nearer the mark. Okay, because see, if they could have left that person to struggle, that Olympics could have been also an ordinary Olympics. But since they went beyond what others could not think of, therefore, though that Olympic was meant for these differently abled people, it becomes the Special Olympic. In the 8th standard it is mentioned, that's how the race ended. The 9 gold medals, they came to finish the line holding hands still, and the banner above and 9 smiling faces said more than these words ever will, said more than these words ever will. What a beautiful ending. All 9 of them came to the finishing line, holding hands of each other. All of them were given gold medals, In any of the events, only the winner is given the gold medal. First person gets the gold medal, second gets the silver, and third gets the bronze. But here all the 9 athletes got the gold medals. It is just because of their spirit for the game. They came to the finishing line holding hands still, and the banners above and 9 smiling faces. They were very proud that all of them had got gold medals. Said more than these words ever will. So what the words could not express, that action performed by those 9 athletes told the whole story of that particular event. And this is what the poet wants to tell through this poem to all of us. There is no doubt that in this world of competition, we have to prepare ourselves well. We have to compete with each other. But we should also keep in mind, while doing so, we should not put down others. Winning is good, but not at the cost of somebody's life. When it comes to losing, even we have to lose if we have to save somebody's life. That is what these 8 athletes did. In order to help the young lad, they forgot their own medal. They only remembered that one of their companions was in pain. This is what we have to do, students. In our classes also sometimes it happens. 1 or 2 students may not be able to cope up with the studies. We make fun of this. We laugh at them. But we should be like these 8 athletes, ready to help, show empathy, keep up the values, and become sincere and honest students who are ready to serve the humanity, who are ready to help others in their need. I am very sure this poem has inspired all of us. Let the message conveyed by the poet become part of our life. Thank you. God bless you. Have a nice and wonderful day.